a lot of speed.
He warming up.
We're
now.
sparring.
That's what we need.
We're sparring.
Warm up.
Some
I know
8-year-olds. I got the 8-year-olds in there.
If I find out anything, I'm gonna beat your and I'm gonna beat Jaden on Love on my mama. I'm gonna beat both of y'all ass on my mama. And he laughing. He laughing.
Our argument is misplaced because things like this should not be happening. And the fact that boxing is allowing this to happen is an embarrassment to the sport.
You know what I mean? I was misinformed. You know, you got to know what somebody's going through, man, or have gone through and where they've ended up. Now, you have to understand that. You got to understand their DNA, you know, and we as fans, we fail to realize that. We as commentators and fanboys and all that, like, we all.
Gervonta Davis reacted angrily to Jake Paul sparring with Shakur Stevenson before their fight. He said Jake can do whatever he wants, but it won't make a difference. Tank insisted that he would display his real power on fight night and punish him. According to Davis, any sparring or warm-up Jake does won't matter once they step into the ring.
For fighting Jake Paul, but yet at the same time, he is going to fight Jake Paul. Now, what I find interesting is how people on one hand are going to criticize it, but on the other hand, try to take advantage of it for their own profit. So Shakur Stevenson, definitely for press purposes, definitely for publicity purposes, offers to get in the training camp and spar for Jake Paul. Spar Jake Paul for the Tank fight. Now, why would he be doing this? It's called copycat crap. Because the last big fight that took place, which was Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez, guess what happened? Jaron Ennis went and sparred Canelo Alvarez to help Canelo Alvarez prepare for Terrence Crawford. So, do I think that is coincidental? No, I do not. I think that it is trying to have your cake and eat it too. You are trying to complain and say Gervonta Davis is not a real competitive fighter, that this is a sideshow, freak show fight, but yet you want your name associated with it and you want to participate in it for your own good gain. Let me assure you that when Terrence...
Boxing analysts have pointed out the irony in the criticism of the Jake Paul versus Tank Davis matchup. While fans and commentators argue that Tank's choice disappoints boxing purists, the situation at the same time benefits others who see promotional or personal gain. Shakur Stevenson emphasized this duality, stating that although Tank's decision may upset traditional fans, he is still open to sparring with Jake Paul to support the sport and keep his name in the conversation. This highlights the complex balance between business, personal reputation, and fan expectations in modern boxing.
When he make another 40+ million with Jake,
he's gonna go make 40 million fighting Jake Paul, and then he's gonna come back and fight Lamont Rowe for what? He's gonna come back and fight Shakur Stevenson for what? He's not gonna fight none of those guys.
No, the only way he fight any of them guys, Turkey gonna have to hit him with the Crawford money. Cause that's the thing. You do this for a reason, bro. Like, I get it. You want him to be competitive, but his goal is money. He made 40 with Ryan plus everything in between. Now he get this 40, 50 million plus. He don't even gotta fight no more. So now if you want him to fight Shakur, give me that Canelo.
Analysts have noted that Gervonta Davis is mainly motivated by financial gain when it comes to his upcoming fights. The recent matchup with Jake Paul has sparked debate, as many believe Tank is focused more on the money than on legacy or boxing prestige. Observers argue that if fans want to see him face elite opponents like Shakur Stevenson or Lamont Roach, the promoter, Turk in this case, would have to offer a payday similar to the kind seen in fights like Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Crawford. At this point in his career, money appears to be Tank's primary motivation, shaping his choices more than competitive glory.
That over fighting with me. I'm the best fighter in the sport. I've been telling him that. He called cap on it. So if you want to call cap and say I'm not who I say I am, come prove me. I think it's dangerous for him to go back in there and fight Lamont. I think Lamont is a hell of a fighter. I can see that going left, so he better be on his A game.
Shakur Stevenson, a highly respected figure in boxing, expressed his disappointment after Tank chose to fight Jake Paul instead of stepping into the ring with him. He stated that Tank avoiding a fight with him is viewed as a ducking tactic, which many see as disrespectful to the sport. Shakur stressed that true fighters confront challenges directly, and picking a crossover opponent over an elite professional like himself damages the integrity of boxing. His public remarks have added more fuel to the debate about Tank's priorities and the role of financial incentives over sporting honor.
A lot of boxing fans aren't happy with the fact you've taken this fight rather than the road rematch, fights with the likes of Shakur, Devin Haney, Teofimo, etc. What do you make of that reaction? And can we still expect to see those fights?
Why should I care what they think? When y'all switch somebody can have a bad day and y'all switching on who y'all favorite fighter is or who this person is supposed to fight. Like y'all need to sit back and be fans and just enjoy the sport. Like y'all even talk about people's personal lives. Like why?
Tank Davis reacted angrily to fans questioning him about avoiding top fighters like Shakur Stevenson. He made it clear that he doesn't care about public opinion, pointing out that fans often change their loyalties after just one disappointing performance. Tank emphasized that his focus is on his career and personal goals, not on pleasing every critic or supporter. His response reflects an unapologetic stance in dealing with pressure and criticism, while keeping control over his own choices and the direction of his career.
Could win a legitimate boxing title.
No, no, because he's so far behind someone of his equal age who's been doing it for a very long time. He started very late. That's why I applaud exactly what he's doing. I think he should be doing exactly what he's doing. If he fought a legitimate, top 10 cruiserweight, I will shut the up. If he's able to fight an actual contender of the top 10, that would be astonishing if he can get to that point. If he beat anybody in the top 10, that would be, to me, the greatest thing he's ever accomplished.
Yeah, because historically, he's fought old men.
I think he's done it the right way, because there's a possibility where a 50-year-old Anderson Silva might be able to beat him. Who thought he was going to beat Tyson? I really thought, oh, Tyson's just going to go to the body and just punish his body, because I thought that's what would win him the thing, but he did not do that. I think it makes for a good matchup. He's made for great.
Michael J. White weighed in on the ongoing debate, saying that Jake Paul, regardless of his performances or hype, can never be considered a legitimate boxing champion. White stressed the clear difference between exhibition bouts or crossover fights and official championship contests sanctioned by major boxing bodies. His remarks echo a wider sentiment among professional fighters and fans who view Paul's ventures as entertainment rather than proof of true championship caliber, further reinforcing the skepticism surrounding the fight's legitimacy.
Dean, that's bad. Because you know what that tells me? That tells me that even he recognizes that he's too big for him. Yes. He recognizes that he's too big for him.
I'm wondering how this even came about. It can't be that Gervonta Davis needs money. That can't be the reason why
he's been a world champion so recently. How could he be broke?
That's what I'm saying. Like, is he doing this for money? And then why? And how is even Jake Paul doing this when no one respects it? Like, I can't think of anybody that respects this.
But Jake Paul has been able to carve out and make his own lane in boxing, and I've never seen anything like it, bro. He literally, I mean, we don't know what weight class he fights in any situation. We just don't know. He kind of makes his own rules.
He makes his own rules.
And it seems like people are playing by those rules. I remember a couple weeks ago, the WBC and Jose Suleiman was very upset that he wasn't going to be able to put the belt on the winner at Canelo versus Crawford. That's a thing that's happened since the beginning of the time. Those guys are very powerful in boxing. But with Zuffa boxing, it was almost like that power was getting stripped away. They were very disappointed. But how can you take those sanctioning organizations seriously when they are sanctioning this?
That's my point. That's my point. That's why I think that this whole thing that we have, this boxing and this MMA argument and Zuffa getting into boxing, our argument is misplaced because things like this should not be happening. And the fact that boxing is allowing this to happen is an embarrassment to the sport.
Yeah, I don't understand why. I talked about this before. Like, I didn't know why they were fighting because, I mean, Gervonta Davis's last fight was at 136 pounds.
Daniel Cormier, former champion and respected analyst, criticized the Jake Paul versus Tank Davis fight, calling it dull and lacking entertainment value. Cormier argued that Tank is not fighting out of financial need and that the matchup falls short of the competition level expected at this point in his career. By labeling it a boring contest, Cormier questioned the fight's purpose and appeal, suggesting it is designed more to spark curiosity and generate social media buzz than to elevate boxing's competitive standards.
I think the fight is ridiculous between you and Jake Paul. Yes. Are we going to watch it? Yeah. Do we like it? Maybe. Maybe. And let me tell you why it's maybe, why it's not no, why it's not yes. It's maybe because many of us, we just don't believe it. We just don't believe the fight is real. We know it's an exhibition, but we just don't believe that you two are going to try to take each other's heads off. Other than that, it's kind of interesting. You have a 5'5" lightweight versus a heavyweight Jake Paul, who's really not a boxer with an amateur background and all that shit, but he's been knocking people out. It's kind of interesting if we know y'all were trying to knock each other's head off. And we don't know that because Mike Tyson did knock out Roy Jones, Floyd Mayweather, Rock Logan Paul, that kept him standing. That shit, we getting tired of that shit, right? We need confidence. Are you guys going to try to knock each other's heads off? Jake Paul, when you swing at Tank, are you going to try to hit him and knock that little man over the top rope into the damn fifth aisle? Are you going to try to hit him and make his ass evaporate? Or Tank, are you going to show the world that Jake Paul should not be in the square circle with a real boy? Are you going to try to knock his ass out, sleep him, drop him like you did Ryan Garcia, stop him the way you did Mario Barrios, knock him out like you did Leo Santa Cruz? Are we going to get a viral knockout? Are y'all going to try to stop each other?
Commentator Showbiz the Adult acknowledged that, despite the unconventional nature of the fight, public curiosity will likely guarantee massive viewership. Tank's recent remarks about possibly walking away from boxing have fueled doubt and speculation among fans about whether the fight will actually happen. The ongoing tension between Tank and Shakur Stevenson on social media platforms like X has intensified these doubts, with both fighters trading sharp words questioning each other's skills. This drama adds another layer of unpredictability to the sport, blending entertainment with competitive anticipation.
For the boxing, it makes it fun, it makes it entertaining. That's what it's all about. You know, and may the best man win. It's an exhibition regardless, it doesn't count.
Doesn't count? Yeah. We need to see you and Tank though. It has to happen.
What happened?
It has to happen, you and Tank.
We'll see, man. It's up to the champ. He's a champ, right? He's fighting. He's a celebrity champ.
Teofimo Lopez, a top professional boxer, commented on the exhibition-style nature of the fight, suggesting that the matchup should be seen more as entertainment than as a serious sporting contest. Lopez's perspective highlights the clear distinction between traditional championship bouts and crossover events, framing the Jake Paul vs. Tank Davis fight as a spectacle designed to captivate audiences rather than establish boxing supremacy. His view reflects the growing belief that many modern fights prioritize showmanship and media buzz over pure athletic competition.
A Tank, you know what I mean? I was misinformed. You know, you got to know what somebody's going through, man, or have gone through, and where they've ended up. Now, you have to understand that. You got to understand their DNA, you know, and we as fans, we fail to realize that. We as commentators and fanboys and all that, like, we all don't do that. We don't do our research. You know, you got to know about somebody's history. So, like, if you understand where Tank came from, if you understand his background, then you understand how he thinks and why he feels the way he feels. You know, you do. So, I mean, for instance, like, his parents, right? His parents were drug addicts, in and out of the system, in and out of jail. You know, he lived with his grandmother. You know, like, you got to understand when he started boxing, why he started boxing. Understand that, you know, that what the influence that Calvin has had on his life, and how if their relationship isn't great, how that affects him. And this is not making any excuses, people. This isn't. I'm not making no excuses. I'm just giving you what I think, and I'm giving you the facts surrounding all of this. You know, I remember back in 2012, you know, I'm living right. I'm living civil. I'm taking care of my business.
Tim Bradley, a former world champion, pointed out the personal and professional pressures Tank Davis faces outside the spotlight. Bradley urged critics to recognize the mental and physical toll on fighters before passing harsh judgments. He emphasized that Tank has endured major challenges recently and that constant scrutiny from fans, media, and analysts only makes things harder. His perspective serves as a reminder that fighters operate under immense stress, and understanding their circumstances can lead to a more balanced and respectful discussion about their career choices.
Look at this, John. This is embarrassing. And not to mention, Georgia already said, no, you can't have this fight here. So they moved it somewhere else. Dave, do you know where they moved the fight?
Can you look it up? This is embarrassing. Look, he actually put his hands on his knees, and he was still the same height, maybe a little bit taller than Gervonta Davis. I mean, I'm all in on Gervonta. I want Gervonta to win this fight. I want him to hit. I mean, I'm not saying he can knock him out, but I think if he hits him to the body a couple times, John, he may be able to catch him. A lazy jab or something, he might be able to pop him to the body and get him good. I'm hoping. Jake Paul down with a body shot.
Oh man.
Oh geez.
Could you imagine?
I would. It'd be great.
It's a win right there.
It'd be.
Analysts have debated the impact of the Jake Paul versus Tank Davis fight on the sport of boxing. They argue that while the matchup is lucrative and attention-grabbing, it may not enhance boxing's credibility. Paul's strategy of picking high-profile opponents with clear size or skill disparities generates curiosity but also risks undermining traditional competitive standards. Observers suggest that although the fight will attract viewers, it could take away from the legitimacy and professionalism purists expect, fueling ongoing debate about its true value. Experts also point out that Jake Paul carefully selects opponents to maximize attention and intrigue, with his decision to face Tank Davis serving as a clear example of this strategy. The significant weight gap between the fighters adds to the spectacle, raising questions about how Tank will handle the contest and whether Paul can surprise the audience. This calculated approach guarantees strong viewership, media coverage, and engagement, reflecting the business-minded side of Paul's career and the entertainment-driven priorities that shape modern boxing promotions.
Jake Paul is really going to have to try to figure out in this fight, how do I catch this little son of a bitch? Because he's fast. And, Gervonta, I would, I'm not telling Gervonta Davis to, cut down and weight like he normally does. Just get in shape. Whatever you weigh, you weigh. Don't try to add weight. There's not enough time for you to add good weight that's not going to make you tighter and anything like that. So just come in at your normal, walk around, good weight. You've been training hard. Whatever it is, because they've said 195 is the max that